Left Discord up.
Do we talk about the news first, or do we just go straight into her?
Let's do the news last when we're talking about upcoming stuff.
Okay, so let's take a look at her and what she is and what she does.
Um,
Um,
do you want to go ahead and do it?
okay, sure. Okay, guys. So Chocobo Fina, currently she's a Chocobo rider. Um, you know, the same ones that you see in the beginning of the game. Strange because we have Chocobo Rain at 3 star. Sorry, at 4 star, and we have Chocobo Fina now, which is a 5 star, really nice 5 star. And we don't. There's no mention, I believe, even in JP, of a Chocobo Lazo, which is kind of weird. But I don't know. Who knows? So we have her TMR here. TMR is a very cool looking materia. I love chocobos. It gives it's basically it gives a resistance to all status ailments, just like her hat in her regular form. However, it does give HP and MP 20%.
So it's
Really nice for,
basically a bonus discernment,
yeah, bonus
or
discernment. It's a good, but having HP added on to it is pretty nice. I wish it honestly could have been 30% rather than 20.
I agree with you. I think 20% is kind of low, but because it is a 5 star TM, while the discernment is a 4 star. Yeah,
Or
it's 4 star.
yeah, I think that it should have just been up a little bit. In terms of her STMR, Chocobo Feather Accessory, I think this is a very loaded uh, STMR, and if you get it, it'll work really nice on anybody. 45 in all stats, 45 flat in all stats. So you can put it on anybody if you want a tanker or a damage dealer. It's really nice. 45 attack, defense, magic, spirit. And the effect she has as well is called Chocobo Protection that gives you MP regen per turn, 5%, which is really nice if you're a damage dealer. Increase LB gauge 3 per turn, so you can get that LB up fast. And she can also give you guts too, ignoring fatal damage 100% one time.
See, I think this is
Re-
really useful for mages because it's got magic and guts. Sorry,
it's good for anybody,
I know.
any damage dealer at all. Just
The reason I say that is because there are versions of stuff with guts. For example, Queen's STMR, the Lucid Lenses,
yeah.
is one for a physical attacker. I don't know if there's one for a magical attacker at all. So
Reason why I also think this is OP is because that limit burst gauge like just 3 flat crystals every turn. It's not a limit burst gauge refill rate, but it is guaranteed crystal. You know,
do you remember how many crystals is max you can get it in one turn?
12,
I couldn't remember if it was
12,
9 or 12. Yeah.
12, I believe, is the maximum. Okay, so looking at her weapon selection, she can equip rod, staves, bows. Bows is really important because the only problem is now I now remember that's actually not very bad for her, is because she's a true dual wielder, which means she would need a one-handed bow, which there's only one in the game.
And it's only
So
got
that's
attack
actually,
on it.
yeah, that's kind of terrible. That's why I said that's kind of terrible right now.
I mean,
But hopefully we get more one-handed bows in the game.
the only two things on here that I see that are extremely useful, and it's kind of niche because the mace, the only one I know that it's good with the mace is Lilith's mace, and then staves like rods. I guess there are some decently high spirit rods.
Yeah,
Um,
but Lilith's staff is pretty good, but you know, um, it's still a time-limited unit.
yeah, that's why I said there's not a whole lot. That's why I said kind of niche. Because what I don't know of any whips that has a lot of spirit. And yeah, Tinkerbell does have 20 spirit, but on a spirit damage dealer, you're gonna want like at least above like 80 to 100.
Yeah. The only reason people use Tinker's bow on a regular Fina is because she gets passives that boost her spirit if she has a bow. But nobody really. I mean, they don't have any other options. Zero other options. Right. In terms of clothing, she can't. Her being tanky, she still can't wear anything tanky like a heavy armor or light armor.
Yeah, but
She's
you're looking
still,
at spirit base, which just makes her tankier, and that's robes for the most part. So
yeah, yeah. So in terms of her kit, she has an affinity with light and wind and non-elemental chaining with absolute mirror of equity. All her skills are absolute mirror of equity, and Awesome and I were discussing this earlier that he wished that she had more variety of chaining families in her kit. I my sentiments is that I think that it would have been too much because she already has so many loaded skills with a absolute mirror of equity that for them to include another one would mean that they would have to include, which will fill out her skills even more, or change it entirely because we do have other wind AT and we do have other light AT. So if they change them to another family, that might have been fine, I think.
well, for me, I wasn't really focused on the element when I was doing that. I was thinking more, oh, she could just um, equip a weapon to give her light damage, and then one of her um, non-elemental ones could be just a different one or two could be a different skill. Just kind of fill out her kit more, so she fits with more people. I felt like that would be useful, but that's
Yep.
to me that makes her versatile, and I guess not everyone agrees with that.
All right. So one thing to note is her wind and light AT skill gives her it adds the element to her physical attacks, and what that means is that yes, we have a unit like Kimono Ayaka and um, Lila who is doing physical attacks with magic damage that are scaled off of spirit, right? That means that she can apply killers, she can use elemental weapons, and they will work, right? So that's very strong. And the fact that she's spirit scaling means she doesn't need to pack on any other stat except, I guess, HP if you want to make her more tanky, but just spirit only, which is really, really good for tanking fights.
Yeah, if you have a physical cover tank, then all you really need is a little bit of spirit
Yep.
to handle the magic.
Okay, so one thing that she does not do, unlike most damage dealers, is that she has absolutely no way of imperiling. And she does not imperil on her cooldowns either, which pretty sucks.
No, you're right. I thought for some reason I was thinking her LB imperil, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's just a
So
modifier increase.
yeah, so she needs an outside imperiler. Hence the reason why I said she works with other units. She has to. She cannot live in a bubble with a dupe. Um,
Or at
but
least need
there,
someone outside that, like a
yeah,
breaker that does it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, um, but one thing she does have is because she's Fina, she can chain along with giving her either healing the team, giving them MP, or giving them LB. Actually, no, that's giving herself LB. Yeah, yeah, giving herself LB.
Well, she also does that with, and she auto revives too with one of her skills while doing damage.
Does she auto revive?
Yeah, on her Choco re-raise, it's AT chaining with
Oh yeah.
auto revive for everyone for
Oh,
three
that's
turns.
fantastic. The only
Um,
problem with that one is that you can't double cast. You would need to if you're dual wielding her, you probably will cast that by itself to do it twice.
maybe. Not sure if it would do it twice because not all.
It's a
Um,
physical skill, so it'll
I
do it twice.
I know, but I've had times where like even with your dual wielder, if you do a cooldown, it doesn't always cast twice.
It should. It should. As long as it's a physical skill, it should.
The one
Yeah.
thing I will say is her healing is kind of mediocre, because it is a region, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Her what?
Her healing, or is there another heal on her?
Yeah, it's split over 3 turns. I believe that's the no. She has a flat heal, but it also gives light resistance and
That's not an
special.
attack though. I was looking for the one that did
Yeah,
attack too.
no, it doesn't do attack, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have. And she can double cast any of her skills, so she can do that and chain if she wants to.
So she's got a
Even though you
Curata heal, or is it Cura? It's not Curaja, because that's 1k HP is not Curaja level. That's half that.
Yep.
Curada, Curaga, I can't remember which one was. But
All right.
anyways,
One
use them.
thing to note about her is that even though her mods do not seem, they're not overwhelming right now, you have to take into consideration she has a passive in her kit that gives her 2 times mod to all those skills, to the good skills, and her LB gives her 9 times mod, which is very strong, and it cannot be dispelled. So even if she dies, you still have those very strong mods. And she also gets triple cast from her LB as well.
I think you lose it if you die.
No, on her LB, that one you do not. It can't be dispelled.
I know it can't be dispelled, but that doesn't count deaths.
Are you sure about
I'm
the
pretty
death
sure. I
one?
mean, like the ones that can't be dispelled are like Bart's and stuff like that. And if he dies, you lose it.
Oh, I thought even when he died,
When he
it
dies, he
didn't go.
loses it. He loses his buff. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure it's the
that's
same
the
thing
reason.
with her.
That's the reason why I ask people who took Barks for Emperor. If he's really a good choice, because if he dies, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, it would be against the good against someone who dispels, which is what Emperor does, because it allows him to keep his buffs up. Because he does more than just attack buffs. He has defense and spirit and buffs as well. She also gets another modifier increase with her latent abilities. Woo!
Yeah,
It's another
she gets
3 times
on one
modifier
skill.
max.
Yeah, she gets it for one skill. Super Choco Dash.
I mean, I think that's her strongest skill, though. Yeah, Super
Uh,
Choco Dash is, yeah, probably her strongest skill.
yep. And
Well,
that's a backloaded chain attack. So
strong.
very strong, very very strong. And to note her, the attacks that basically give her an element are also backloaded, which is really nice. If you have to include it in there, um, it can still do decent damage. Not very good, but decent.
I mean, the only
Uh,
reason you would use spiritual meditation is if you wanted the 200% spirit buff over the other
yep,
one.
and just like we mentioned earlier about the other Fina, she can also get spirit increase of 50% when she equips a bow. So unfortunately, it seems as though you're gonna probably use Tinkera's bow on her if
Yeah, but
because we
50%
don't.
spirit's not going to be as good because she is a true dual wield unit with spirit. So she would lose a lot because a high stat would also gives her a lot.
Yeah, it would probably.
It'd be better to not have a bow unless there ends up being a great bow for that.
That's why
But
I said ideally it would be really nice to get a spirit-based bow and just or at least something that has both attack and spirit on it at the same time.
yeah, probably your other big thing that to notice is she gets triple cast, which makes her very good. And if I remember correctly, it's from her LB.
Yep. Yep, she gets it on her LB, hence the reason why she has a skill that gives her 14 crystals per turn. That's wild chaining. Sorry, 18 crystals. 18 crystals per turn wild chaining. That's very amazing to get her LB up because all she needs is 36 crystals. And if you consider that she's doing that twice, she's and wild chaining, which means she's gonna get crystals from chaining. She's gonna get it up immediately. She can get her LB up almost in one turn, no problem.
which is what you're gonna focus on doing for the first 4 turns.
Um, yeah, you could basically are getting her LB up. I would say maybe the way you're gonna use her first is you either gonna give her an element, you're gonna give her that and basically build her LB, you know, and if you want to put revive, depending on how the fight goes, that's how I see her using her at the beginning, and then she's gonna just kind of, you know, just do constant damage after that.
Yep, I would have
To
to
me, as
agree.
long as yeah, to me, she doesn't have that much. She does have some defense in there. Yeah, she has 20, 40, 60. I'm seeing 60 defense passives, 60%.
Which isn't bad.
Um, is not bad, especially if she's entirely based around spirit. That gives her some good, decent tankiness to her defense. But you're probably going to use a physical cover tank if that's the case. But she's still very good, and just in case that happens, that your tank can't tank. You know. She also gets innate wind and light resistance of 50%. That's very strong.
If you have her latent abilities, her light resistance goes all the way up to 80%. Oh, wind and light
Wow.
resistance goes all the way up. Wind and light goes up to 80%.
Yeah,
So,
that's really goddamn strong. You definitely would want to take her into a fight where the enemy does some wind and but if she imbues herself with wind and light, you know what? I'm not even. That's the one thing that annoys me about this game is that demons are strong against demons, and if you do light and wind damage, you have wind and light resistance. So if the enemy is doing wind and light, you shouldn't be doing wind and light to them, right? But then again, who knows?
yeah, but then also again, you can also just add an element to your character using her weapons because she is technically a physical hitter.
Oh
So
yeah,
since she hits
yeah.
physical, if you like, for example, I know of a dark staff, but I can't think of any other elements that's spirit based right now.
Do we have a dark staff?
And the Grimoire.
The Grim. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The Grimoire, the book, the one that. Okay, never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
we do. I was really surprised by that, but yeah, we do have a dark staff. We do have light stabs, a variety of light stabs, but I don't think we do have much outside of that variety.
not really
Um,
a whole lot. No, um, we are kind of stuck with. I think dark and light are the two most common ones, or light mainly the most common one, because it's free for everyone whenever they want.
yeah,
But yeah, I
which
don't think there's very many
you
elements
probably
for
wouldn't use
staffs.
because she can imbue herself with light anyway, right? So chances are the only element that you might be able to use outside of you know non-elemental is dark to slap onto her. But yeah, she's super tanky. She's pretty fun.
There is an earth one, golem staff.
Oh yeah, Golem staff is Earth. Doesn't it also give like a status ailment and
Yep,
inflict status ailment?
petrification.
That's good if you really, 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 really need to chain Earth AT.
Staff wise, though, I think that's pretty much it. You'd have to look in another realm to find anything else.
Yeah. I also have to mention that our other um, podcaster, Panda, comments on Chocobo Fina is that she's pretty good.
Quee quee quee.
Quack, 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 quack. Big, strong stonks for damage with spirit scaling like Cool Kid Lila. um, so, um, if you like, why should you get her? If you have, I would say she is really good as a damage dealing tank. If you've ever liked Lila, if you've ever liked Kimono Ayaka, she's really nice. She's not that difficult to build. Um, the only thing is we don't have any true dual wields. spirit materials, or like anything like that in the game. So whatever she can pack on, she'll be able to pack on. That's about it. There's nothing in the game currently that you can have like. I mean, we can't say that it's an impossibility because we got like Katy Perry who has true double hand spirit. A time limited unit gave us some true double hand spirit um, accessories, right? Which is pretty great. But who knows? Maybe in the future we could get some, true dual wield spirit passives and materials and accessories. But she does have 100% in her kit, right? She does get 100%, so that's real good. You know, I mean, she would only need another 100% again, but there's no source that she can get that. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I would
She,
have liked if they gave her that as a latent ability, just to you know finish her off.
like I
But
said, I wish she could work with the Lola because I like Lola, and they kind of just keep like ignoring her. They gave her spirit abilities, graviton cannon, and I've yet to see anything new come out with graviton cannon. So it's like,
yeah, like if they just made Lila's skill AT instead of Graviton or something, or like at least she would be able to work with a lot of people. Instead they're reducing her family even more.
I still use Lola. I like her. I have her at 2.1k spirit, true double hand with Roy's STMR harp. No, she doesn't move in her frames anymore.
Yep.
But yeah. Um, so after that, I guess we will move on to the Holiday Road, which is
Well, yeah. Well, do we have? We had some comments and stuff here.
we've been kind of answering the questions.
So yeah, we're taking a little period between each segment now to like just address any comments that we've have, and then we'll move on to the next segment.
Yeah,
You had a question, Javi. What's going on? Quick question: Warrior of Dawn Galoof better as a tank or more KN
I think he was.
known?
I think he was talking about. He's just going for damage. I think he was
Oh
saying because it used to be Kingsblade, maybe. I don't remember. I don't
no,
know.
yeah, Kingsglaive. More a
But
tank or
KN?
known. I think it's just short form of known.
Okay. Well, it's saying is she work on the tankness or the offensive side and substitute with his C card. So, Gol Galoof, you don't need to enhance like you did with Sieghart to catch up. But in my opinion, the real benefit to Galoof, other than his HP, is easier to get higher than Sieghart, is Galoof's passive 80% provoke.
Yep.
So if you
And
make
not
him
to
one,
mention, if you're looking at him as a damage dealer, he has passives and to give him a lot of attack. You have to build him in attack and defense. Uh, if you want to use him as a damage dealer, but he has a lot of attack passives already in his kit. You know, so you can use him as a damage dealer, but effectively probably gonna use him as a more of a tank in a like a support chainer, if anything, right?
yeah, he's more just to keep it up. I mean, the big problem I feel like is with Galoof is the fact that his damage is based on his attack and not his defense.
Yep. Let's see. Do we have any other questions there or comments? Oh, Galaxy was saying Lilith's been dead since her banner. Dude, we both, Awesome and I, have used Lilith quite often. And we have always, almost every single week of our podcast, we have had a reason to say something would work with Lila, which is really fun.
Especially since it trolls Kuja.
Yeah, because our other podcaster Kuja really hates Lolo, so we kind of always rub it in his face that she's, you could still use her. And Awesome was also showing off that he can build Lila up to 2K
Almost
2K
2.1.
spirit.
Yeah.
Yep, K spirit, which is very impressive. Um, yeah. So also we have Kingsglaive, a comment about Kingsglaive. So because Galoof, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. Because Galoof has Kingsglaive chaining removed into AT, I believe uh, Lilith and Lucius are getting those removed. If we do get an update with them or something, I think they are gonna lose their Kingsglaive chaining. All right, and probably Yoon as well. Yeah. All right. But yeah, congrats on your two Galoofs, Javi, the Javi. Um, I'm really glad for you because I would really love Galoof, but that banner, man, that has three of them.
Well, I mean, if you're pulling with Lapis, it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah,
but
if you're going with Lapis with the thing, but any free to play player, it's kind of terrible.
I just hated the fact that there was no 4 or 3 stars, so you couldn't even get trust coins because it was a raid. That's how I get my trust coins, yo.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I have to pull on my raid.
Again. All right.
Yeah,
Well, let's move on to the holiday road.
yeah.
Whee!
So the events we have this week, Holiday Road, is the trial uh, marathons that we've had twice in the past. This one is based around the theme of what we got for holidays. All right, and you want to call out
Um,
the ones that we have?
they started us out with the gingerbread man, which has been out for a few days now. Um, the snow gown is really out of date, but I mean, can you really pass up on 100 lapis, Moogles, and a rare ticket? No. The snow gown does give you some ice resistance, which is can be useful if you need it. It's 30%, but its magic and spirit are in the 30s, and let it snow is an ability. It doesn't actually. I mean, it is 50% ice resistance, but we have Blizzaga and stuff like that, or a lot of units already have better than 50% with more than
Yep.
one element. So it's
Oh,
not.
how many? 50% resistance?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's 50% resistance for the ability. So it's the entire team, 50% ice only. So I mean, if you only
I
need
agree with
ice,
you. And if you don't have like a Marie's robe or something, and for going against the ice thing, it's not bad.
it was useful when it came out. We didn't have a whole lot of resistance gear, so it was extremely useful unless you had Marie, basically. So I actually used it quite a bit when it first came out. But yeah, right now it's kind of out of date because they've given us a lot of gear with resistances, but it's always nice to have in the back pocket in case we have to play these Tetris trials with ice.
All right. And
Um,
second on this list, we have Kanchu and Byakua. All
okay,
right.
so a
They
quick update is these are events that happen with 5-star base, 6-star max units. So they're as long, if you have 7 stars, these are going to be extremely easy to kill. So if you have to do things like summon an Esper, bring something to summon the Esper.
okay. So Kanchu and Byakua are two dragons that we've had for the Chinese event, Chinese New Year event. Even if you have 7 stars, this is an annoying fight. Very annoying because you have to
It's
kill them with an ability that they give you
that's
to
only if
get
you
the
care
rewards.
about those weapons. Those weapons are
Yeah.
you pretty much to make them decent, you have to use them together because they get a passive with each other,
Yeah, one gives you one is a sword and a
and the other
great
is a
sword.
great
One
sword.
gives you one gives you a defense passive of 20%. One gives you a spirit passive of 20%. So they're basically two swords that you're gonna give to a person for survivability or defense scaling. And there's nobody like that, with the exception of uh,
Zargabov.
talk about. He's the only dual wielder who you probably want to build in survival more than you know.
In my
So
opinion, is it worth the effort of trying to kill these annoyances with that? No, but if you want to, I mean, if you think it might be fun, you can try it. But those abilities are really weak. The Flex Shield
also,
is very good.
also I would say since we got that really cool sword, uh, this with a lot of spirit on it, it kind of wipes this one clean.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we also have the Chef now too that gives like 80 spirit too with the
Oh
Great
yeah,
Sword. But the Flex Shield is very useful because it's got 50% to water, even though it does hurt the fire. And if you're using Ong Chao, Gian, or Yuri, you get magic evasion 10%, which I guess is not the best thing in the world, but it's a very good shield.
yeah. It's also like I have
Cuisine
used this
sword, yeah.
shield in the past. I've used this shield for 10-man trials, so it very much has a use.
Um, this accessory, I, I'm just gonna tell you,
No, this accessory I used a lot when
I
I had
used
it.
a lot, but it's gonna. We have characters that give this immunity now, and I guess this is still useful because we have trials. If you don't have units that have the ability to give immunity, so it is
Yep.
still useful. Actually, yeah, you're right.
And I
I look,
did use it. I did use it with Yan
yeah.
quite a bit.
It is females only, so you have to make sure you remember that.
And famously, a person who I use this a lot on would be Lid because she was a unit who only breaks, and I wanted to do something every other turn, and she would basically be able to put up resistances for. So that's actually really nice. You just know who you'll use it on, right? If you don't have somebody like Polka, you don't have Lena
Sylvie.
and Sylvie. Those are the only three characters can give that kind of resistance. So
No, there's more, but I can't remember all of them. I think there's a four-star unit that does it as well.
um
Ah, damn it, I did it
single
again.
target maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's pretty nice. Also, let's see what's the next.
The next one is the Challenge of the Great Count. Now, this was an MP challenge because right at the beginning of the battle, he drains your MP. You aren't allowed to use items unless you don't care about the Seductress armor, and you cannot use LBs, so you can't use those two things to build MP back. So if you didn't either have a enormous MP pool, or you have a character who has cheap MP regen like CG Nicole did at the time, this was a very annoying fight.
Yep.
It gives, if you have Lilith, the Succubus Satchel is very good, but only with Lilith. The Seductor's armor is, I mean, it's not bad. It's not great because it's locked to females, and there's not a lot of females you're going to tank physically, because Charlotte doesn't do it, and Lilith does do it, but I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that else that dodges,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have much other than a little bit of defense. And then we were
And I
talking about it earlier.
this is something that I always kind of get a little bit annoyed at is that they always put evasion stuff with defense on. Like if you're evading, if you're if you're building a unit to take not get any hits at all with defense, you're evading. Shouldn't you have spirit on it?
Or HP or attack or anything else.
Anything else? Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming that maybe they think that you're not gonna have 100% evasion. I don't know.
Uh,
That's always weird to me. Like, why give us defense on evasive items?
and then we mentioned it earlier, the Unholy Grimoire, which is a staff, even though it's a picture of a book.
Yes, even though it's a picture of a book, it's pretty weird, but it's decent. Spirit
It's 98 spirit, which is up there for the
decent.
most part. It has MP 10%, and it's a dark elemental staff. So you can make someone like
Lila,
Chocobo Fina,
yeah, Chocobo
dark
Fina,
damager.
Kimono Ayaka, as well as Lila. Lila especially, it's good because she already imperils Dark, so really nice. Um, Moving on to the next one.
Season of Mayhem. Trial hard. I don't know what they call it. Trial hard. You're definitely going to do this because Wrapped Gift is fantastic, especially if you got
Uh,
what Javi just got, which is Galoof, because this gives you 20% provoke passive, which will make Galoof 100% provoke tank.
yep, and having a next one is actually really nice too, especially because some people, like to make builds without sacrificing their shield or something else.
Well,
Um,
death having death resistance on the shield is a lot better than having provoke on the shield.
yeah, yeah. So wrap gift, especially for those units like Galoof and Warrior of Light who only need just one single wrap gift to be 100% provoke, it's pretty amazing. You know.
Yep. And then it has a passive of also randomly using one of these three abilities, which I'm pretty sure nobody cares about because they're 50 and 55%, and every buffer in the game nowadays is in the hundreds at least, if not more.
Yep.
The fireplace poker is a mace with fire elemental on it. I mean, I guess that's how
Um,
you could. Oh, wait, no, this is
yeah.
attack though. Yeah.
I have kept this just because it's an elemental weapon, which is on a rare elemental weapon. Rare element on a rare weapon,
Is fire that rare? I don't remember it being that rare, but yeah, being on this
meaning that
weapon,
there's
it's
no
rare.
maces. Meaning there are no maces with fire.
I mean, it's pretty weak other than that, so I mean, I would still recommend getting it just because we have plenty of space now that they gave us all the free space.
Yep. The red mittens are actually pretty good.
Yep, they give fire and ice resistance of 20% and auto refresh, so you get MP5 on it. And
Yep. Well, a little bit of spirit, a little bit of defense. I mean, nothing wrong.
it's fine, but
Yep.
it
And
and nobody cares about the defense 20% because everything is higher than that now.
so, um, out of this event, make sure and get that wrap gift. That is undeniably one of the best items in the game. Um,
Followed by this next Lord of the Beasts, where we got two fantastic items in a row.
yep.
We have Transcendent Soul and we have Dragon's Destiny. Both of these are evasion items.
With spirit.
Dragon's Destiny is a staff with I think is it 50 or 60 spirit? Oh, 88 spirit. Jeez, I'm way off.
Yeah.
With 5% evasion, which I mean it's the only staff in the game with evasion in it. So yeah. And then Transcendent Soul is a materia that gives 10% evasion while also giving 25% spirit. So unlike Quick Assault or True Spirit of Freedom, this gives spirit instead of attack.
Or defense, which is what I was just complaining about. Like, stuff
Is there
that gives,
is there a materia that gives defense and physical evasion?
I believe so as well, but
Mm,
I'm not, I can't be sure.
I don't remember there
But
being one.
as of this date, Transcendent Soul is stackable, so you can actually use the previous one and this one together, which is really nice.
Again, most of these are going to be very easy. I think the hardest one is going to be Lord of the Beast because this I think did come out with 7 stars. But I still remember it being fairly squishy. It's only got 15 million HP. So oh wait, there's two forms. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this did come out with 7 stars because this is when Ching and Baihu Quei was out,
Oh yeah,
and
I
those
can't remember a lot about this fight though.
I don't remember it being difficult.
No, it wasn't difficult,
Um,
but this was definitely in 7 stars
oh
because that was
yeah,
this year. That
there
was this year.
that was the thing that usually got the people was the fixed damage, Dragon's Destiny. So it does basically have a kill your entire team if you trigger its second attack.
Yep. But unlike the battles that we have this time, you could still have um, You can have guts, you can have re-raise, and you'll be fine.
Very true. We have lots of units now that do that.
All right, so moving on to what else we got? We got another event this week. Omnip Omniscience. This wizard in the Fork Tower, Black Tower, whatever that means.
I'm pretty sure that just it's the name of the tower that was in Final Fantasy V.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. Omniscient. Um,
I've
I
only
can't even.
played through Final Fantasy V like twice, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. Unlike
Yeah.
six and four that I played way too much. But this battle is, in my opinion, way too easy. You really need to be careful not to kill him. His defense and spirit are pretty low, and his HP is only 10 million with that low spirit and defense.
If you're a newer player who can't do a lot of damage, don't worry about it. Just remember that do not hit him with any physical damage because he heals with physical damage. All right, so just take some mages and try to just go ham on it. Right, he's gonna occasionally do some, some random like things to hit you. He actually can surprisingly hit hard. So as long as you have like a regens on your team and stuff like that, you should be fine. But
Well, it looks like as
you know,
long as you have a magic tank, you should probably be okay, because there's magic dark damage of 4.5 or 4.2,
yeah,
magic lightning damage 5, and then stop 10%.
yep. So a magic tank, and some magic damage dealers, and you should be fine.
Yep. Is this battle really amazing to do? No, Poison Rod is actually fairly weak rod. I mean, 104 magic's. I guess it's not as bad as I remember it being.
Yep.
I think I
Just remember to do the Esper mission, and remember to do the green magic.
I forgot the green magic when I did it, so I did it twice.
We got a rod. This rod. It's not dark. It should have been a dark element.
And they
Instead we
do
got
give you
wild.
a dark ability, but yeah, so it allows you to at least fill a requirement for a mission if you have it on, like if you have to do dark damage. But I think I'd rather
Yeah.
just put on like Diablos or something like that.
Yep. Um. Okay. So the other thing that we had a
The final trial
trial.
that we got this week.
Yeah. We got Scorn of the Legendary Stag, otherwise known as, I'm gonna butcher this name, Elicaferus.
Actually, that wasn't bad.
Elicaferus.
That wasn't bad.
All right. And what we get out of this is another another
Niche weapon.
no, another rising sun. We have three
Oh,
rising suns in the game right now.
we have Final Fantasy. No, we have four. Isn't what's her name's STMR also Rising Sun?
Who?
Uh,
Oh
Yuffie.
yeah, yeah, Yuffie, right?
Because there's a Rising Sun from, oh no, there's five, because there's a Rising Sun in the game, then there's the Rising Sun from
Locke.
Locke, then there's the Rising Sun from Final Fantasy VII, and there's Yuffie's Rising Sun, and now there's this Rising Sun.
Yeah, it's a lot of rising suns. So this rising sun, I think, is one of the strongest outside of Yuffie's. Is
I think Yuffie's is stronger because it's a two-handed weapon. This one is a single-handed weapon,
The
which
reason why I call this strong is for because we have this true dual wield, and this has two killers, I believe.
I think it's the same killers that Yuffie's does, doesn't it? Birds
No, this
and
one has
mechanical,
mechanical and it's 75%. So that's pretty strong.
and
That's the
50%
only
against birds.
reason why I would say it's stronger in this instance, because this would beat out the variants that the other one has.
Well, as long as you're fighting mechanical or physical.
Yes, which is what you would use it for. Yeah. So I'll, Alexicaris is the same as he was before. He's a beast and stone based enemy, and he has, just as before as well, slightly less spirit. So doing magic damage can be more effective. You don't have to, but it can be more effective. And just like before, he has 50% resistance to disease, which means you can get him inflict disease on him, which you would want to. Um, Anything to basically lower his stats a little bit, because this is a damage dealing race, plain and simple. Just like his previous version, although this one has a little bit more constraints on it, especially if you want to get that 5-star select ticket, you have to do it in 5 turns.
Yep. So I mean, the biggest problem is just damaging him down a bit. Do you know if virus comes off or how long virus is on the unit?
What's that? Fire resist?
Vir, excuse me, virus, virus.
Oh, disease, you mean?
Um, I think I think I'm going off of JP because I think I read it as virus there. But do you know how long it lasts? Because I know a lot of
Um,
battles where you blind the enemy, it's only one turn.
no, I actually don't know how long, but I know it's not one, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so if you inflict disease, I think it might be a 3 turn thing. However, as this is a damage dealing race, as long as you get to 10 turns, on the 10th turn, you will die. Right? He restores all his health. He does fixed damage with fixed attacks, 99999, and he drains all your MP and everything. You just die. There's no coming back. And he also does, and that's after the fact of doing an instant KO and also imperiling your team, which means you can't escape it. So you it's a death.
Yeah, he removes all your buffs and debuffs too.
He makes sure that you die, remove all the buffs. So even your guts, he slaps you after the guts. So you're dead. There's no way to come back. So you have to try to get him down in 10 turns. He does now. This fight, I will say, is less of less. So in the last trial, you had to bring um, maybe a physical tank, maybe a magical tank, because he does, depending on what you use, he would respond to you in doing a physical or magical attack. In this one, you have to kind of do the same thing. You can actually ignore carrying a tank, as what I've been told, right? And if you want to go with 4 damage dealers or 4 chainers, you can actually do that, right? But it is purely a damage dealing race, right? So um, you may, now that we have new units in the game, you may want to bring a finisher. You may want to bring an imperiler or a unit who can imperil a large amount on a cooldown. Anything that can get you there in 4 turns, you know?
Yeah, and I will make a recommendation. Don't bring Barts.
Yeah, Bards needs to build up, so Bards is not a good wise choice. You like units of that I think can be effective. Esther, because she has that stone killer. Um, you know, you add on you add on you add on some beast like Ifrit onto her. She can be more effective. Um, Units like Sid is effective because he has that a lot of beast.
You do have to remember
Um,
though with Sid, because it takes 3 turns to do his beefcake jump.
yep,
If you don't have his LB when you come down on the third turn, he's not going to be able to do anything really.
yep. So Sid is effective, but if you need to be able to,
Either
um,
beat him on the third turn or get his LB up, pretty much.
yep. Or what some people do is they carry 2 Sids. You know.
Yep, but then you have to find the space for it. So I don't know. You have to kind of make a decision based on what kind of units you have. So,
Yep. And also remember that units like Sylvie, who can give other units chaining abilities, there is ways that you can chain with supports while they finish. So if you want to do that, that's an option. If chaining is not really important here, and you just want to use that finishing damage, you can.
yep,
But yeah, there's not much to talk about when it comes to this guy because that's basically all he is.
yep. So I guess let's go on to a little bit of the news. There's gonna be a poll sometime. I'm not. Is it on Monday? They said, yeah, Monday. They have not listed the price of it, but basically it's older units. Not anything too new. I think Medina is one of the newest units on here. So unless you want or are chasing one of their STMRs, I don't think this would probably be a great pull for you. But it gives you 2 coins, and apparently you can trade 1 coin for a rainbow of your choice, or a 5-star EX if you want to try to risk it for the biscuit for a newer unit. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure if the pool that's for this ticket or this poll is limited to these units up here above, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Could you uh, con- control plus and
Oh,
increase
zoom
that?
in. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
zoom in. Sorry. Staring at a tiny screen where I can't see anything usually, anyways, so I didn't realize.
yeah.
So there are quite a few units. And like I said, these units are kind of all pretty much outdated. Um, you might be able to find a position for them, but I think most of them you're going to be chasing their STMR. I wouldn't mind getting a Dark Phoenix because I have 3 of her. Um, oh, there's Shadow Lord's actually pretty good now. Shadow Lord got beef kicked.
Yeah, Shadow Lord is pretty nice,
Pretty
I would
nice.
say. Yeah.
Um, if you need any of these TMRs, like Nightalia's TM is still fantastic. Transterra has nothing good going for her right now.
Yep. Nyx's STMR is still pretty good. Queen's STMR is pretty good. I think Ace is non-existent, but
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Um, there's a few TMs that would be useful to have, but oh, Rem's STMR is fantastic. If you need dark or light resistance, get any of the Veritaases if you have their STMRs. That's what I was looking at. I was looking at Zargamoth. Get that STMR.
yep, it's very good. All the Veritas's armors are very strong in their resistance. Really nice if you want to go to a fight like uh, if you have Veritas of the Flame, you can go into Emperor's fight. Helps you out there. Um, Empress Shara is still one of the best SDMRs in the game.
For
Uh,
defense and spirit, yeah.
yeah, tankiness. Um, yeah. So we have to see what this is gonna be like, but I would also say this is bait
Oh, it's
because
totally bait.
Halloween is literally the following day. Tuesday is gonna be that news Tuesday, hopefully, because I think they have to do it now on Tuesday because Wednesday is maintenance. And maintenance, everything closes off. This is a big problem for me because I'm so accustomed doing things the day after maintenance, especially my raid polls. So it's kind of screwy
You keep
to
missing
do
them
it.
anyways.
I listen, no, I missed it entirely once, and the second time I got everything that I needed to get, and I just missed like half of it. Okay, so so it's not as terrible.
I only missed half of it.
Yeah, I got all the essentials. All right.
Um, so stuff that's coming up. So Halloween is going to be coming up soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this next week or the week after. It really depends on how they want to push it
I think
because
it I think it would have to be this week.
I-
because
I'm assuming so as well. But I have seen them push things because it technically is on the 30th. So if they pushed it after this next week, I mean, 30th is maintenance. So they might push it on the 30th for
so
Halloween.
I mean the event to happen. Yeah, but the
Because
thing
the
is,
31st is Halloween.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? I'm thinking they're gonna do it this week because then immediately after Halloween, like nobody thinks about Halloween. It's November, so I don't know. I'm thinking that they might follow up with having it in the week that it's going to be Halloween. Not the week after. That's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, I agree that I do think it is going to be next week, but I have seen them push it to the last second before, so that's why I'm like, it's not guaranteed to be next week. Um,
Yeah,
but that's also probably why they're putting it on Mondays because that poll. I'm tempted though because I could get two good STMRs that I've really been wanting for a while that just never drop in my lap. If it's 5K, I'm totally could probably do it.
I don't know. I kind of want to save my lapis to see what's coming up. So
No, I understand. Like I said, it's if it's but it's five if it's 5K, like it's two STMRs for me, two good ones. I don't
do
know.
we get like it? Is it 5K and we just get to select?
Yeah,
That's it.
you get two coins. At least that's what the thing said. If they make it a step up where at the end you get two coins, then it's a pass for me. I'm pretty much gonna
Oh,
pass on it unless it's 5K. They haven't listed what it is. They
yeah.
just
So we still have to see.
they just said it's limited to one, which could be one full step up, and that they're gonna give us two coins, and each coin will allow you to pick a rainbow. That's all they've told us. Oh well, and the rainbow options. I'm really hoping that also this next week they might introduce an update to like Lilith and Lucius, especially Lucius. He needs an update. He was out of date when he came out.
Yep. He needs strong true dual wield passives.
And then Lilith, I think because they've been killing Nightglaive, or
Kingsley.
Kingslave, yeah. I think they're gonna need to switch her over to something else.
Yep.
Maybe they'll give
They're
her
gonna.
Graviton Cannon.
That'd
No, they
be
probably
great.
won't. I
Yeah.
doubt they will. They'll probably do like AT or SR or DR or what's the other bolting strike. It's one of those four of the common ones now that we see.
Yep. She already has, the eight. She
AR.
already has. Yeah, she already has AR. So they're gonna change her to one of those ones. Honestly, since this is my assumption, but the Glex units, global exclusive units, seem to be with the new chaining family. So I'm thinking that they might be bolting.
I think an
Um,
SR because of the elements that they have.
and also or maybe uh,
Sorry, you cut out
like
there. Maybe a what?
sorry, instead of maybe a unit like Lucius who has multiple families, they can give him variety. Can give him AR. Sorry, they can give him absolute mirror of equity. They could give him SR, and they could give him bolting. All three. If they want.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know they need an update. Like I said, Lucius
They would
is
take out as Octaslash. They would take out as.
is
Uh,
Octoslash dead though?
it's not as common
Yeah, it's pretty
as
dead,
it
isn't
was.
it? What was the last unit that got Octoslash? It was the newest Sephiroth, but other than that, before that,
And he only got it. This is the way I see it. The only reason he got it is because it's from his name, so they kind of have to.
also they had to make him chain with the original Sephiroth,
Yeah,
with his family.
that's what I mean. Like it comes from him, so they kind of have to give him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you think they're gonna bring any new units? And what units would you like to see? I'm
Yep.
thinking like a vampire slash demon hunter would be cool to see. Um, if I was gonna pick a global unit because they do things like Demon Rain or something like that. What unit would you see as being a Demon Hunter, or do you think they're just gonna do straight Demon Hunter if they're gonna do something like that?
Yep. Give us your thoughts, and thank you for being on the podcast with us. And if you
Join
want,
us on Discord.
yeah, if you want to, join us on the podcast, you can always contribute to, um, Nitro boosting our server, and you can join us right here as well. Along with all of you guys who can't, you can join us in the chat. That's fine. And I think we're gonna have a really great Halloween event.
Um,
So stick around for that.
Also, with our Discord, we pretty much leave it open to the public. So if you just kind of want to come and BS, just feel free. Even if we're not podcasting, there's usually one of us on. We have what we call no life. All
If you
right.
need help with the, if you need help in the trials, you want some friends in there, it's all there. All right. So come and hang out. We'll, you know, you'll be greeted with a warm welcome.
All right. You guys have a good evening.
Good night.